Hi, I'm Sailor Mars Ray here, and today I'm gonna talk about, this one thing that I do think needs to be talked about. Now, so you got these folks, and I probably always made a film on this, but you got these folks out here that like to bitch and put down the Deke one, and bitch and put down the Cloverway one, and the Pioneer one, the Path uh, Seeker one, you know, and they talk about, oh well, there was too much cleaning going on. They cleaned this out. They cleaned that out. Oh, they shifted out their names, or they shifted out, or whatever. They shifted out the strikes and the hits, and oh, you know, well, they always bitch about that, like that took away from it or something. Well, keep in mind, you folks that are bitching about it now didn't even know what Sailor Moon was. So you have all the right to bitch about it now, but back then you didn't know what it was. I know some of you folks out there are going to say you know what Sailor Moon is now, but back then you didn't. Alright? So if it wasn't for Deke or later on the Cloverway one, there would have been no Sailor Moon. Because let's be earnest with it. You know, you folks bitched about things that I don't even think you should be bitching about. Oh well, you bitched about their names being shifted. Oh, they shifted out their Japanese borrowed names. Now they gave them Greek and Latin borrowed names. Well, a lot of folks who speak English understand, or would hear or be giving names that were either Greek or Latin borrowed names. So yeah, they were making it. Well, keep in mind who they were making it for in 19 between 95 YL. All right, kids at that time, because that's what Deke One was made for at the time, was made for kids, and I don't think a lot of kids would have known Japanese borrowed names. You know, so you folks bitching about that shit, but keep in mind who they were making it for back in the day. You also bitched about, oh, their strikes being renamed, their names being shifted. Once again, I don't think a lot of folks who never seen a live drawing show or a drawing film from Dawnland would have known what their strike names were, what their hit names were. So they would have to shift them out for them for something that they would know. And then you also bitched about, oh, Zoisite had to become a woman. Well, first off, that's like a big can of worms in its own right. But let me just make it smooth for you. There were a lot of folks and a lot of folks during that time, and maybe even folks now who still think it's a bad thing. So Deke did not want to didn't want to have folks getting irked at them and saying, oh, well, I just saw two men who were in love with each other. So Deke made sure that they made Zoe's side a woman, so they wouldn't have to deal with folks bitching at them about something, oh, I just saw two men who were in love with each other. You know? Because back then, a lot of folks thought that was wrong to be on the Farseer or in the films and a Farseer show and the plays. Well, now it's not really that bad anymore. Now more folks are more open-minded to it. But back then, there were a whole lot of folks out there who were not. Does that understand? And as far as putting in Sailor Says go, Well, keep in mind, this was during the time where the FCC made an oversight that if you were not the certain hours of the day, you had to be having learning shows on. So if you want a learning show, you had to do something to meet that. So Deke made sure that all their shows during that time met that oversight. So that's why you got Sailor Says. And plus some of the times Sailor Says was about good things that one would know about. Alright. Then you also bitched about the show playing, or I guess the speak, I guess what was it called? The speech playing, I guess we'll call it. The talking playing. I don't know, the speech playing. About, oh, you didn't like them. Oh, they weren't skilled enough. They were the wrong folks for the job. How the fuck did you want them to talk like? They spoke English. Yeah, some of them spoke New World English, and some of them also even spoke, some even spoke, settled land English. But at the end of the day, either was the English from the Wanted Reichs or the settled lands, it was still English. What did you want? Japanese English? Is that what you wanted? Well, I don't know. Bitching about them speaking English. I don't understand that. Or bitching about them not being right for the job. How did you want them to speak like? And before I end this film here, you folks bitching about the saga and the tale. Well, at the end of the day, Deke was kept more close to Sailor Moon than which, say, Toon Makers would have done. But then we all know Toon Makers didn't own the rights to Sailor Moon, so that's why it got cut off before it could happen. Alright? And all you folks out there can go and have on look for the Viz one if you want to. But keep in mind, if it wasn't for Deke and Cloverway, there would have been no Viz one. You would have not had any other, there would have been no there would be no new dubbing, new English work if it wasn't for Deke and Cloverway. If it wasn't for the Deke and Cloverway one, there would have been no Sailor Moon whatsoever. So, for all you folks out there that would be our Sailor Moon followers or bitching about being Sailor Moon haters, you would have had nothing to like or nothing to hate if it wasn't for Deke and Cloverway. That's all I'm going to say there. I'm Sailor Mars Ray, and I hope you like this film.